Hello, Linda from Canada. Brilliant to see you again. I've been a member now for just about 3.5, going on 4 years, and in that time, I've built a modern, wealthy site. But more importantly for me, I fixed up our guest house site using all the training from Stuart, and that was such a breakthrough that its way of marketing our guest house was so powerful that I then went and built a site training people who run guest houses. So I've got the 3 sites going now, and I've just started with my wonderful wife, Vicky, to try and build a 4th one together. So we're right at the beginning, right at square one, thinking of what we will do, and we're trying to do the impossible task. We want to try and do something that we both want to do. So that's the mission that I'm on for the next few months. That's my intro, John.
All right, that's brilliant. Well, let's get straight into it. Welcome everybody to this month's Launchpad call. It's great to see you all here. And as always, this is a space where we share real world insights, lessons, strategies, etc., to help you build and grow your business. So tonight we've got a really exciting guest for you. I haven't seen Mike for a while. I know he's been up to some fabulous stuff in the background. He started his journey as an affiliate marketer promoting Launch You, but he's since transitioned into running his own business so successfully that his wife was able to leave her 9-to-5 job with the NHS and join him. And this is exactly the kind of real world success we love to highlight, because Mike's story proves that with the right skills and mindset, you can build something that gives you more freedom, more income, and more control over your future. So we're going to dive into his journey, what worked, what challenges he faced, and what he'd do differently if he was starting again. And after about 30 minutes, we'll open up for a Q&A, so get your questions ready. You can type them in chat, okay? And we'll deal with those in the fullness of time. So Mike, thanks very much for being here. Let's start with a little bit of background. Can you give us a quick intro? What were you doing before you started with affiliate marketing and Launch You?
So I had 30 years in sales, primarily software sales. I started off in Rank Xerox and then migrated to IT and software sales. And I I built my way up from being a sales guy to being a sales executive to being a sales director, and then eventually international sales director, grand titles. But basically flying around the world, wining, dining, banking executives, telco executives. I had an unlimited expense account, and anyone that saw me and my then wife and my house from the street would say I was probably living the jet set lifestyle of a super successful executive. But inside I was clinically depressed, I think, if I'm honest. And behind the door, the marriage was failing. The mortgage wasn't being paid. The cars on the money borrowed to pay for the cars on the driveway wasn't being paid. I was in a really bad way. The wheels on the bus were falling off, big time. Yeah.
So what was the moment that made you think I need to do something differently and look into online business?
When it all came crashing down. So eventually I lost the wife, I lost the kids, I lost the dogs. A year later, I lost the house. I paid for an empty house for a year with a £750,000 mortgage on. I'd massively overextended myself, and always living to my best month in sales when some of the months or some of the quarters were a lot less than my best. And I had a wife back then that wouldn't stop spending, so it all had to stop, and it did. So the answer is I lost everything, and eventually, after losing all of that and falling ill, I also then lost my job. So cherry on the cake, I had to lose everything, and I walked away from that mess, £150,000 in debt. So I wasn't just down on my uppers; I was in a hole, a massive, great hole. Yeah.
Yeah, and you started with affiliate marketing at the very outset.
I luckily for me, I met. I fixed my personal life first. I met a woman that wanted to be with me for me and not for my money, because I didn't have any money. I was driving around in my daughter's beaten up 30-year-old car with rust holes in it, and I had 150 grand's worth of debt. I had nothing to give, and I fixed my personal life and found someone that wanted me for me and not from the money that I could earn, which was refreshing. And then I thought I was in Nirvana. I found this perfect woman, and everything was getting back together again. But I was still in software sales. I was still jumping from job to job, and I was getting paid £110,000 basic wage and double that commission. So it was just incredible packages. But I was miserable, absolutely miserable, and that's when I finally, lost my job, another job, and I fell. Yeah, it was a really stressful job. I went over to the US. I met the CEO of this company. I'd been building this thing in the UK for him for 6 months, and he tore it all down in an evening. It's everything I've been building for 6 months. He just said, "We're not doing it that way. We're going to do it my way." And I just told him to shove it, and that's being polite. And you don't do that to a CEO of a company. So he fired me. And so I came home without a job. And then I fell ill because all that stress and strain and worry suddenly was gone. I felt euphoria that I didn't have to dial into those bullshit meetings on a Monday. And then I fell ill because I didn't have that energy. Suddenly it's all gone, and I came crashing down, and I woke up one day with gout. I got out of bed, or didn't get out of bed. I went to go out of bed. I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk for 10 days. I was in agony, like walking on glass. And being stuck in bed, I just knew I can't carry on. This is a warning. I've lost everything, and now I'm about to lose my health because of the career path I'm on. Of course, I could just go and get another job. That was my immediate instinct. And I actually had my CV open, ready to update. And there was something screaming in my ear to say, "Don't do it. Don't do it." I didn't touch a single full stop on that CV, although it was open. And I started looking at other ways to earn money. I thought, I'll write a book. I'm dyslexic. That was stupid. But that was the first thing that came to mind. I'm going to be an author. I'll write a book. And I started to explore ways to make money online. I think I fell in from writing a book to, it must be something I can do without commuting to London, without getting on that miserable train every day to London, and something online. And then I came across different name back then, but I came across Launch You. I came across Stuart. And I just thought, that's it. I don't have any product ideas. So, why not sell other people's products, other people's services, and start to make money until I find out what it is I want to do, what it is I want to sell online. But I certainly never want to go back to a 9 to 5. I never, ever wanted to have a boss. I think that was my goal. That was my North Star at that point, sitting in bed. Never, ever have a blank of a boss ever again. Yeah.
Again, yeah, brilliant. So, what? Tell me what the first few months looked like. What worked and what didn't, Mike, when you came in?
The book didn't. I think I've still got the cover. I came across it the other day. I designed a cover. That's as far as I got, and I think I had a title. But that didn't go far. I obviously joined. I looked at a few things, but I signed up for Stuart's training. And the other thing that was ticking away in my head was I had some money left over from my previous job. Let me just turn the heating off, so I'm cooking myself here. I had some money from my job, but it was whittling away month by month. So I had this ticking clock. I had to find something quickly that would enable me to earn enough money to pay my bills without having to stop and then go and look for a job. So I had the CV open there, and I had the training open on the other screen, and I just had to get this training done to see if it would work. So I went all in. I mean, I was getting up. I was so excited when I found affiliate marketing and Stuart. And I was getting up really early, feverishly working through all the training and going to bed late at night. And then my wife-to-be then, or so my new wife, I think. Yes, my new wife then, came in and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm building an online business." And she said, "Don't be so bloody stupid. Update your CV, go and get a job. It's like, no, I'm serious. I'm going to build an online business. And she didn't believe it. And then after a few months of persevering and doing the training and building a website, and she noticed a massive difference in me. She just said, you're a different person. You're happy. You're relaxed. You're a different man. You're someone I want to be around. And then she could see I was starting to make sales as well. So it's like, this is actually working, isn't it? So yeah, it is. It's actually working. So that was it. I just, when I could see it was working, when I made my first few sales, I just knew I would never, ever have a boss ever again. I would never, ever have a job ever again. This was it. I just had to hang on to this and just go all in. I think that's the word. Yeah, go all in. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So I think many people struggle with momentum early on. Was for you, what was the biggest shift that helped you start seeing results, Mike?
I had some false starts. I'd been 30 years in sales, so I knew best. I knew how to sell. Therefore, selling online is the same as selling in the real world, isn't it? No. But it took me 3 months to learn that lesson. And I decided I was going to set out on Bing, because not many people were using Bing. And I wasted a load of money on Bing, trying to do the things that I would do in the sales world, the real world. And I fell flat on my face. And I joined a call a bit like this. I joined a call with my mentor back then. And I was going to quit publicly, just throw the towel in. And I invested in this training. It was called Elite back then, but it's probably silver, or I can't remember what they call the products now. But it was a higher level marketing. Really getting to learn the online marketing space, and I'd invested in it, and I hadn't opened it because I was just too busy in the weeds, and it wasn't working on Bing. So I was going to throw in the towel. And I got on this call, and someone else had also started when I'd started, invested in the same product, this Elite marketing stuff. And when I started to tell my story, this other guest called me out and said, Mike, you started when I did, and you also bought Elite, didn't you? Yeah. So why haven't you used it? And like, how does he know that? I said, well, if you'd used it, Mike, all the things you were telling us you've been doing, you wouldn't be doing, because the Elite training specifically tells you not to do those things. And I had to admit, I hadn't opened it, I hadn't used it, I invested money, but I hadn't invested time to benefit from it. And then they called me out and just said, right, well, open the training, do the work, and I've been kicked off of Bing. Bing shut me down, and they said, right, move to YouTube. And I just said, there's no way. I'm an old fart. I am not going to go on camera and make a fool of myself on the internet. Ain't going to happen. And they just told me to just do one and just do it. And I did. I started this training, this Elite training, by Justin Wolf. It was fantastic. I was listening to it every morning, walking the dog. And in the afternoon, just consuming this stuff over and over again. I think I went around it 5 or 6 times, picking out the stuff that really resonated with me. And I started shooting my first YouTube videos, my YouTube ad. My first 3 were appalling, but when I'd been around this about 5 times, my 4th one went stratospheric. There's something about it. Something when I finally opened up and stopped selling, and I learned to be me on camera. I think that was the thing. I just finally relaxed and learned to be me. Bang! It just took off. It just stood out a mile compared to the first 3 that I'd done, and that was it. That was when I knew, right, this is really something. Yeah.
Okay, so look, we want to get into this new business as well, Mike. So we're going to kind of make the transition now. So, yeah. What was the moment that made you think I need to do something? Sorry. I've got the questions here.
All right.
What made you decide to transition from promoting Launch You as affiliate to starting your own business?
Along the way, I tried a few things half-heartedly, and they didn't work. My wife was going through some turmoil in the NHS. I won't go into any detail, but she was having a hard time, and we were walking the dog. It always goes back to the dog. I'm going to have to make the dog the chairman of my business. We were walking the dog, and I just happened to say to her, wouldn't it be great if I could use all the skills I'd learned with Stuart in this community, my marketing skills, building websites, all the stuff that you learn. Wouldn't it be great if I could, use that, and we could use your skills and we could put them together and somehow build a business? And Lisa, my wife, had just done attendance allowance, which is like, for those of you who don't know, it's like a really complex claim from the government for pensioners to get extra benefits that they deserve if they're ill. Horrendous application process. And she'd just done it for my dad, and previously she'd done it for three other relatives, and every time she's done this, she succeeded. And the DWP, the UK government, turned down over 60% of applicants, and these bells started ringing, and I just thought, wow, you've just did that for my dad. You got him through records, really easily, really quickly. Why don't I market what you do, and see if there's a marketplace? And she sort of said, yeah, fine, like carry on with the dog walk. And I just, again, it was like when I first met Stuart, it was like, no, there's something here. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to go for this. So literally that evening, I'd already got the website built. And I think 5 days later, I had everything done. The whole sales funnel was done. All the messaging was done. My wife didn't know what I was doing. And I went back in and I said, right, we're ready. And she said, what do you mean? So we're ready. We're ready to launch the business. And I showed her what I'd done. I showed her everything I built. And it's just like, wow, okay, let's do it then. I even got her on video. I even got her. My wife is a technophobe, and she detested everything I was doing regarding online marketing. And within weeks, I got her on YouTube running a video explaining what we were doing and why we were doing it, more importantly, the why. And that was it. We were off, and we started getting leads immediately. It was just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was working for the NHS at that time.
She was still working for the NHS at the time, nearly full time. 5 days a week. She works weekends as well, but I think, she was working full time 5 days a week, but and weekends. So she used to have a day off during the week as well.
And how long ago was this, Mike? How long ago was this?
We started to mess around with it sort of end of August. We didn't really launch until September, when I started actually spending. We had a website up for about a month. I didn't spend any money on marketing, but then I launched a YouTube campaign and the sales funnel was in September. And the company I formed a limited company at the end of September. So really it was the end of September. Yeah.
Yeah, and at what point did I think we know that Lisa's left the NHS now.
She has now, yeah.
So if you start, so the business was happening in August, September. You started marketing in September-ish, something like that. At what point was she able to actually quit her job?
Well, unfortunately she had to give 2 months' notice. So by October, there was already more business than we could handle. And I was telling her, you can earn 10 times as much working for us than working for the NHS. But she had to give her notice. So what she did is she took less time. So she sort of downgraded her job, first of all, because it's quicker to do that. You can do that nearly instantly. And then she was only working 3 days a week for the NHS and 4 days a week for us, because we're working on Sundays as well. But eventually she slowly whittled down her time, and in fact she just had her leaving due a week ago, but that was after she'd left. But yeah, it was just obvious to her. She'd spent 25 years in the NHS. It was really hard for her to let go. But I just kept saying to her, we can't handle the volume of business, even though we'd started to take on extra staff. We're hiring fast. And so if you work for us full time, that would enable us to hire more staff faster and grow faster and scale faster. And she finally got it and handed in a notice. And in the end, I thought it was going to be a really tearful, heart-wrenching thing for her to do. But in the end, I think she skipped out of there for what was going on in the background. Yeah.
This has all happened so quickly.
Ridiculously quickly. It's been like drinking from a fire hose. It really has. There's been tears. We've sat down and she's like had near breakdowns because it's just overwhelming, the amount of work and the amount of opportunity there is. But she just said, my God, what have we done? Why have we done this? So I thought it was just going to be me and you, earning, a couple of $100,000 a year. And why are we building this multi-million pound business now? And it's like, because the demand's there, because we should. And we can. And it's sort of, if I'm honest, it's overtaken us. We've now got an operations director. We've got multiple people working in admin. We're hiring our ninth occupational therapist, partner, on Monday. I'm onboarding them on Monday, on 9th. And it's just going faster and faster and faster. And they know someone who also knows someone who also knows someone. And these people are just coming at us saying, yes, please, I'll have some of that. Can we join?
Yeah. So what? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. It's...
Yeah. So what do you think? What were the skills or habits do you think that were most important in making this transition?
Well, obviously, from her perspective, she's a qualified occupational therapist, so she's a healthcare clinician. Everyone we hire are healthcare clinicians. I'll get my teeth in a minute. And that's our unique in our market, in our niche. That's our unique. There are other people, cowboys, that we compete against that just wing it. And our success rate is 100%. Every single we've done over 200 now. 200. Anyway, we just blew through £100,000 mark in bookings, not actual revenue yet, but in bookings, over $100,000 was last week. So I've forgotten the question now.
What skills or habits do you think were most important?
So those skills that my wife's got and the other OTs have got, absolutely key to our business. But for me, it was just the know-how. It was being able to take an idea, however crazy it is, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, and be able to say virtually instantly, I'm going to give that a go. I'm going to sit down this afternoon. I'm going to knock up a web page. I'm going to see what it looks like. And if it looks good, I'm going to build a sales funnel and just do it. Have a great idea, sit down and try it. And if it doesn't work, and I've had things that don't work in the past, fine, you've lost nothing, a bit of time, maybe a bit of money, but very little. But before I knew these skills, I would have never even attempted it. The amount of times I used to have these great ideas and think, oh, wow, I could be a millionaire if I did that. And then several months later, you hear it on the news, someone's launched this product that you thought about last year. It's like, that's my idea. You didn't do anything about it. You didn't have the skill set to action against it. Now I do. Yeah, thanks to Stuart and Justin and this community. Now, if I have a good idea, I can run at it. And I'm not frightened of running at it. I've got the right skill sets to run at it. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we're crashing through the questions because we want to open this up to the people that are on the call here as well. So I've got 2 or 3 more to go. So we're going to keep it moving at a pace. So what advice would you give to somebody still in the early stages, let's say, trying to build momentum in their online business? What advice would you give to them, Mike?
The advice I would give is stick at it because it's really hard. And sometimes it can be really frustrating. Things go really slowly. I nearly quit several times because I'm not very good with IT. So I struggle with that. So I outsourced it. I thought I was good at marketing. I wasn't. I was good at sales, but I wasn't very good at marketing. I didn't outsource it. I invested it to learn that skill, the skill of online marketing. And this was the best place to learn it by far, in my opinion. Sorry, I've forgotten the question. I'm going all over the place here. What was the question again?
Yeah. Well, what advice would you give to somebody perhaps still in the early stages? You know, looking to trying to get their business airborne.
Keep at it. Every day you're learning something new. Every day you're making mistakes, but each mistake is a lesson learned. Yeah. And if you keep going, you will get there. I think that somebody told me a long time ago, if you refuse to quit, then you are going to succeed. The only question left is how long is it going to take you to get to your vision of success? Because nothing's going to stop you because you're not going to quit. And if it's that important for you, and this was really important for me to get out of my rat race, otherwise I think I'd be dead by now if I just stayed in software. So it was that important to me. It was life and death to me. And I knew if I kept at it, I could see the people around me succeeding, people way ahead of me, people behind me were succeeding. I just knew if I kept going, I would get my version of success. And I did. Yeah. So just don't quit. Just keep going. The skills you're learning here are life-changing. Yeah.
Yeah. You said that you thought about packing up at various times, and so what kept you going? Would you that was your why? Was it that idea that no going back to employment, never work for anybody else ever again?
That was my why. I got to a point, it made me ill. I was clinically depressed. It was why my previous marriage crashed. It's why I lost everything. I couldn't see it then because I was so busy being miserable. I couldn't see why I was miserable. I couldn't see why my family was failing, not just my marriage. And it was because I was clinically depressed. I was miserable. I was earning a fortune, but I was hating every day of my life. And now every day's a Sunday. Every day, I'm often caught saying this, but I walk the dog with my wife nearly every morning, and nearly every morning I don't know what day of the week it is. And that's my proof that I'm living my vision, because I don't care if it's a Monday. I used to hate Mondays. I used to fight to try and survive till Friday and then have my whole weekend ruined because Monday was looming and I had some bullshit of a Ponzi manager to report to who was going to drill into me. And it was just miserable, and the stress and strain. And now every day's a Sunday. I love every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said there's nothing wrong with Mondays at all. It's your job that sucks.
Yes, it totally is. Of course, every day's the same. If you can make it like that, and now I have. I decide what I do. That said, this job's taken over, so now I'm working harder than I've ever worked in my entire career. But I'm building something for me. I'm building something for Lisa. I'm building something for my kids, the ones that still talk to me. The little sods that don't, then they're not getting anything built for them. But I'm building something for the future, and we want an exit plan. We're going up to London to meet some investors in a few weeks' time. They're already offering us ridiculous amounts of money for our business, or a huge lump sum just to invest and get 10% of our business now. So me and Lisa, we're going to sit down with them and say, right, this is what we want. Here's our exit strategy. How do we make this work? And they're going to get people involved in our company to make us get there faster, easier. So yeah, we want out in 5 years maximum, probably 3 years. We're done.
Brilliant.
We still want shares in the company. We still want a profit from the company. We still want some sort of control over the company because, it's important to us. Our why is important. Our why is to help pensioners, not just to make lots of money. Our main why is to help pensioners because they really deserve it. The government are moving from a 32-page application form to an 88-page application form soon. It's already being trialled in Scotland. So they're raising the bar even higher for pensioners. And we're just going to smash that bar down, which we're getting every single one through. If they're eligible, we will get them through every single time.
Yeah, this is so exciting, Mark. I feel excited for you, man. Pumps on pumps. So you've told us a little bit about what life looks like now. Obviously, you're busy, you're up to your neck in, the building of this thing. But what would you say, since the time that you came into where you are now, what would you say has been the biggest personal or financial change?
Financial change. Well, with this latest business, not much, because we haven't paid ourselves at all until last month. I finally paid myself my first paycheck because I didn't need to, because my other online business, the Launch You business, was still earning me enough. I didn't need to take any money out of this company, which is great, because it meant I had the capital to fuel this thing faster, rather than taking capital out to pay me and Lisa and everybody else. So that's again phenomenal when you build an online business and it's highly automated. My new business is not so much automated. I'm designing it so it's going to be very automated for me and Lisa, but it's obviously a very manual job, ringing pensioners up, interviewing them, collecting data, filling in forms, and sending them off is a manual task. But we're building a platform that to enable OTs to come to us and work and earn really good money. They're doing all the manual work. We're sitting back. We're building a platform, and we're going to be building other products into that platform as well. So it's going to be a place to go to where they can earn really good money doing really interesting work, helping pensioners or helping people who are disadvantaged in the UK get through bureaucracy, basically. And our company logo is a pair of scissors cutting through red tape. So it's like cutting through bureaucracy. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Look, last one before we open it up to everybody on this call here. So if somebody... this is not so much for the members that are on the call, but this is once we've got the recording, we're going to be sending this out to our folks, because your story is inspirational. Mm-hmm. So if somebody is watching this recording, they're stuck in their 9 to 5, wondering if they can do this, what would you say to them, Mike?
Absolutely. It's I would say it's 95% mindset, 5% perseverance, sweat, blood, and tears is the other 5. But it's all mindset. Anybody can do this. Yeah. It's a set of skills, and all you need to do is spend your time, invest your time in the skills that you enjoy doing. The stuff that you hate, outsource it. Get somebody else to do it. Focus on the stuff you really like, and that way, that's going to keep you going. If you're doing stuff that's making you miserable, whether it's technology or marketing or whatever, just focus on the stuff that makes you sing, and that will give you the energy to keep going, and you will get there. And really to have a why. Why are you doing this? Why are you building an online business? Why aren't you just getting a normal 9 to 5 job? There's got to be a why. Really understand what your why is, understand what your vision is, and then work out how you're going to get there. In fact, work backwards from where you want to be to where you are now. The stepping stones, the things you're going to need to achieve to get you to your why. But I think it's really important to have a strong why, a really strong vision. And my why was to carry on living, because I knew I'd be dead if I carried on in the corporate world. It was my health was failing fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes there's another saying about rock bottom is a fantastic foundation to build from.
Yeah.
And sometimes it requires us, I think, in order to, that story about Mike Bramall, he actually collapsed in a classroom before he considered, doing an alternative strategy, if you like.
Yeah, it's a life pattern interrupt, isn't it? I had a massive life pattern interrupt, and if it hadn't have happened, if I hadn't have lost my house, my wife, my kids, my dog, if that catastrophe, which took a year, maybe 2 years before it was completely finished. But if that avalanche hadn't happened, I probably would have carried on in my software job, because I was earning too much money. And it was all I knew. I don't have any other skills. I'm not highly educated. In fact, I'm not educated at all. I don't have any proper qualifications, no degrees. So what choice did I have but to stay in sales? But it was making me utterly miserable. So I had to look for something. And it wasn't until I was smacked off the chair and on the ground, it was like, right, now you've got time. Now you don't have a job. You've got some time to look for a different path. but the time was ticking because the money that I had to live on was reducing really, really quickly. But I invested some of it into this elite training, this because I knew that was the thing that was gonna that marketing skill. If I boiled it all down, I didn't really need to know how to build websites and this, that, and the other, and it'd be nice if I could, but I knew I didn't enjoy the technology. But I knew if I could transfer my sales skills and morph them into these marketing skills online, which are very different, then I knew that was going to change my life. So that I invested in that online marketing skill set. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, it's been brilliant hearing your story, and congratulations on this phenomenal success. I'm going to call Mitch out before we come to you, James. I can see you've got your hand up, but Mitch, have you been looking at the at the chat?
7 days a week, and I used it. Yeah.
I'm going to just jump to James Glover. James, you'll need to unmute again. Sorry, I kept muting you because we were getting a feedback. But if you can come out and ask Mike.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Mike. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Yeah. Your story resonates with me entirely. From all the stress and stuff you have from other jobs, and I'm in that same situation, and I'm almost like in a situation where I want to just like quit and then spend the time I need to invest my time into this. I started back in October, and I'm going through the course, but I've sort of come to a bit of a brick wall because of other issues with personal stuff and work. But as you say, you've been through that, and I think the motivation is to just concentrate and take it. Don't rush. I think all the times I've spoken, even to John and other people, don't rush it. It's not a race. It's a journey, and I'm learning all the time. And I made sure I made this call today so I could listen to you and your story.
Thank you.
And obviously, John got me into this at the beginning, which was good. And I'm going to speak to John very soon again. Right, John? That's good. It's good. So I've got some life changing decisions to make. But from all the people, I met some guys up in London last week. Even I met Mitch before Christmas. So it was great to actually meet people. People think, oh, this is all a bit of a sort of like bit of a scam, and are these people real? Yes, they're bloody real, and this community is awesome. I've met people and communicated with a lot of people, and it gives me still that motivation to I'm not going to quit, but might take me a bit longer, but that's not a problem. And obviously your sort of business on the health things is massive. And it almost gave me an idea last week when all surgeries are changing their way of booking an appointment. And I spoke to a guy. I spoke to a guy in the queue, and he said, "Oh, I don't know what to do." I said, "Well, go and watch the program." And he said, "What? Go and watch the presentation." I'm thinking, well, but I'm not that far down the line to actually get things going.
Yeah.
See, I need to learn more in the modules to actually, get my foot in there and start, because I talk to a lot of people, I know a lot of people, and I think the whole program I can sell to other people and thinking, look, I'm in it, you can do it, we can all do it.
I agree, and that's how a lot of. There are people here that have launched amazing businesses, but some of them didn't really know what they wanted to do. And while you don't know what you want to do, sell someone else's stuff, whether it's this company or another company, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sell someone else's stuff, earn the money. While you're earning the money, you're gaining skills. And then I'm telling you, you're going to meet someone in this community, or you're going to meet someone from out of the community who's going to bring an amazing idea, or you'll have the idea yourself, and bang, now you've got hopefully some money, some skills, time, because you don't have a day job, to say, I'm going for that. That is a brilliant idea. Let's do it, and act on it. If you have a day job, you never have the time to do it. You never have the money to do it. And you certainly don't have the skills to do it.
That's exactly, I work, I'm in logistics. I do multi-drop delivering. I'm out on the road, and I do 60, 70 hours a week, from the time I leave home to the time I get home. I don't get time to put the time in after work, and the days I have off, I'm absolutely knackered, and my mind is, I can't focus. Yeah. And it's hard to put that time in. You need to put the time in, but I'm struggling at the moment with it. And
the other thing you touched on here, which is absolutely key, and I should have mentioned it earlier because John sort of asked me the question, which is the training here is phenomenal and world class. Really, really is great. But it's the community that makes it, in my opinion. Obviously, the community is surrounded by the training, but I've met lifelong friends, John and Mitch. We all meet up with others, Carolyn Grubb, and we meet with Stuart and Justin. We go down to Portugal every year. We're going again this year. And I'm not even really actively involved in this business at the moment because I haven't got time, but it still earns me money. And I still believe I owe it a debt of gratitude, and I want to invest time and help others.
So first thing, how long did it take for you to get that up and running from start to go? And do you think it would have been possible to have done the affiliate site as well as starting your own thing at the same time?
Okay. So when I started the affiliate thing, because I didn't have any product ideas of my own, and I was scratching around, I had some really stupid ideas, but eventually someone said, do you know you can promote this stuff and get paid for doing it? It's like, really? So I did. I wasted 3 months on Bing and a load of money on Bing, got 0 results. And as I said, then someone pushed me to YouTube and Google. And when I changed tack, it took me 3 months to get from near zero to getting near zero to I can't remember what the numbers. I used to have them on the board. I would say within 6 months I had a 6-figure business. Yeah. Within a year I had a multiple 6-figure business. I grew that fast. Yeah.
That was purely
my fourth ad. Yeah, my fourth ad just went through the roof. Nearly everything I earned, I could then take and reinvest and just scale my Google Ads campaigns. I can't remember what my best year was. I think my best year was just over 200 grand, I want to say $215,000. So I've earned over $1 million with Launch You, $1 million over 5 years. And I still am earning. I don't have time to invest in it. Now, you said, could I have launched my new business while doing this? Well, I did. I just switched focus from this because this is totally automated. I just switched focus to, right, now I need to go on into my convertry, build this new business, take all the skills, all the Google skills, all the marketing skills, the avatar stuff, and just reapply it to this new business and start it. It just meant all my focus went from Launch You to this new business, but Launch You's carrying on. I'm still earning money from Launch You, and but this new business takes up 7 days a week, nearly all my time, more time than I've got. Yeah.
I can imagine in the very beginning the affiliate site must have been a full-time thing as well.
It was, totally was. Yeah.
Okay.
Full-time in getting it off the ground, but when it was running and when it was fully automated, I spent most of my time breaking it, tweaking, changing, just breaking it over and over and over again. I blew it up, and then recovered and blew it up again, and because I always knew best. I always wanted. I was bored. I don't know. Was I bored? I don't know what I was doing. I had more time on my hands than was good. And I would go in and tinker and change stuff and blow stuff up until I learned the lesson that, if you've got something that's working really well, split test it, make the changes on B, And if it blows up, never mind. If it takes off, then turn off A. It took me a good 3 years to learn that lesson, and it cost me a lot of money as well. So my business literally stopped some weeks because I blew it up. Yeah.
So just one final question. What was the period of time before you started your own business after starting the affiliate? Was it I'm just trying to get it in my mind.
I started a number of businesses along the way. Some of them were not crypto trading, but bots trading, crypto bots trading currency exchange. Someone paid me quite a bit of money to sell CPAP machines and stuff in Australia because they knew how good I was on YouTube, so they paid me to do those ads. So there was lots of little things that I started thinking that, oh, this is really exciting, this is great, and they fizzled out. I don't think my why was really there. Couldn't really see beyond the next few months, so they didn't work. But this business, well, 5 years. I was been in Launch You for 5 years, trying lots of other things at the same time in parallel. But when this took off, because it was so consuming, and the demand was so great, it's just like, right, okay, I need to stop. Otherwise, I'd still be actively in the Launch You community every day. But it was just, no, I've really got to get this thing going, and then I can step back and then work out what's next. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, sorry, I won't carry on in much longer, but I'm still not very clear. So when you started the affiliate site,
yeah,
perhaps I'm not hearing you correctly, but you started the affiliate site and then you started doing the NHS one. So how long did you do the affiliate site before starting the NH one?
Oh, 5 years. I've been in this community for in April will be 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
April will be 6 years. So 5 to 6 years. But I'm still here, still doing this affiliate business. It's still earning me great money. I've just tried lots of things along the way, and the NHS thing last year, the attendance allowance thing has just massively taken off. Yeah.
But you.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can find a phenomenal product with a huge amount of demand, but if you can't work out who your avatar is, who this product's going to resonate with properly, and all the other things that you need as part of building a marketing message, starting with the avatar, that great product is going to fail, and it could be a phenomenal product. It can be really aggressively priced. You could have the most beautiful website that's ever been designed, and you can spend a fortune on marketing, advertising. But if you don't get that marketing, if you don't get that avatar nailed and all the messaging that comes back from that correct, you're out of business. You're wasting your money. So yeah, it's marketing. Yeah. It took me 3 months to learn that, but yeah.
My thing about marketing these days, and I think it's becoming more and more true, is to be real. Because as AI comes sweeping through, I don't know what's happening for the rest of you folks. I can spot an AI ad on YouTube in seconds. Yeah. But when somebody comes on and they're genuine and real, that makes such a difference for me.
Yeah. It's getting better, though. AI, unfortunately, is going to get better and better and better. And in the end, it's going to be near nigh impossible to tell who's human and who's robot. Yeah. I am real.
Brilliant, Mike. Look, thanks. Yeah, look, Mike, thanks very much for coming out today. It's great to be back with you. We've kind of missed you over the last few months, but you're very proud of what you're doing and very much looking forward to gathering with you again in July. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Thank you. Do you want to just say a few words to sign off, Mike?
Yeah, just thanks for your interest in my story. Just keep going, guys. Create your own stories. You'll be being interviewed like me sometime in the future, but just really understand. I saw somebody mention, I want to be a millionaire, in the comments that flashed up, and you need to ask yourself, why do you want to be a millionaire? What are you going to do with £1 million? What are you actually going to do with that money? Is it time freedom? Is it a car? Is it a house? Is it why? And then when you got those possessions, what next? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you here? Why are you not just doing the 9 to 5 or whatever it is you do for a career? why, and when you get your why, you'll then know where you're going, and everything will start falling into place. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Burnout.
Mr. Mitch.
All good from my side,
That's it.
John. Just remember, folks, if you've got any questions, just shoot us an email. I don't know what Di's done, but she's got lots of floating fairies and stuff going up there. But anybody's got any questions, just shoot an email. We will get back to you. And that's all from my side. Jumping John.
Okay, over and out.